is Sports Drive.
Welcome back into Sports Drive once again. I'm your host, Preston Moore. I mentioned earlier in the show we would talk a little bit of things going on out at CISD. We had Mike Roden on to talk about some of the great spring sports that will be streaming on in CISD over the course of the next couple of weeks. But one sport that has ended for CISD and for all of our schools around the area has some big news coming out of CISD just yesterday, as the Randall High School basketball gym will be renamed the Leslie Broadhurst Gymansium. Longtime head coach of the Raiders boys basketball team. Joining me to talk about that is John Peterson, coordinator of athletics at CISD. John, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you, sir? Appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm doing well. I'm excited to talk a little bit of CISD athletics with you. Now, we talk a little bit about those spring sports like I mentioned, and I'll get to those in just a moment. But last night, or 2 nights ago rather, very, very big news for CISD, very big news for Randall in particular, with Leslie Broadhurst having the gym that he has coached at and only he has coached at in Randall's boys basketball history named after him, the Leslie Broadhurst Gymansium. What do you think this means to the school, to the district? Obviously, Coach Broadhurst, very near and dear to all of our hearts.
Yeah, it's such a great honor. I've coached with Coach Broadhurst at Randall, and he's such an amazing coach. He's impacted so many student athletes, but he truly represents that Randall Raider culture, and he's done such a good job of, been there for 36 years and 682 wins that he's been at Randall, and his career speaks for himself. But I think just what a great opportunity that Canyon ISD that we had to name the gym after him, and just kudos to our school board for recognizing that and giving Coach this honor. In my opinion, there's no greater honor than having the gym or a field or any kind of court named after you. So just what a great honor for Coach, and such well-deserved.
Absolutely. Well, and you talk about his career spans over 36 years, all at Randall, just really been just the figure of not only Randall basketball, not only CISD basketball, but he's been a figure of Panhandle basketball in general, of Texas high school basketball at that rate. And just in the last couple of years, having his most successful 2 years, making the state tournament in back-to-back years for the first time in school history. You mentioned you coached with him. You mentioned you obviously worked with him for quite some time as well. What do you think it is about Coach Broadhurst that just draws people to him? I mean, he's just such a personable guy, as well as a great coach as well, and obviously this honor more than deserving.
Yeah, he's such a kid magnet. I mean, kids just flock to him. Coaches flock to him. And I know if I'm having a bad day or anything like that, I go see Coach Broadhurst. He's an unbelievable storyteller. He's got stories that, all the way back from when he first started coaching, and he can always make you smile. He can always make you laugh. If you're ever having a bad day, you just go see Coach Broadhurst. And I think he truly cares about his students, and it shows. You get all the responses from all of his former players, his former coaches. You just see how much people truly care, and how much people truly care about Coach Broadhurst, and just love that guy and love being around him. He's so infectious. I mean, just his day-to-day operations of what he does. Everyone just loves being around the guy, and coaches and students.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, and I echo that. I've certainly, I think anybody in the media or within the coaching world, anybody who knows Coach Broadhurst would echo all of those sentiments. Certainly a very, very big honor for him to have that court named after him. I want to shift gears a little bit and talk a little bit about the softball, baseball, track, spring sports going on right now at CISD. All 3 schools have been pretty competitive in most of these sports. Canyon, Randall, and West Plains have all looked really, really strong across the board, to be quite honest. How do you feel like, or I guess, what do you think it means to the district to have schools that are that competitive, across the board, like I said?
Yeah, I think our coaches do such a phenomenal job of, it's first, second, and third in district, and just kind of shake the order up of what CIS schools are in first, second, and third. And we do coaches do such a fantastic job of getting our kids in the right place. And like you said, softball, Pampa and West Plains are leading it. Dumas is in the mix, and then Randall and Canyon are kind of fighting for that 4 spot right now. And Baseball, we're 1, 2, 3, but you know, anything can change. Such a strong district. Hereford's got a really good club. Dumas has got a really good club this year. Pampa and Perryton, you know, they're super scrappy. Borger's always scrappy in baseball. So you know, nothing's wrapped up by any means, but you know, it's always good, you know, when our teams are fighting for positions come playoff time. And area track starts tomorrow over in Andrews. Each school took busloads of kids down there, which is always good to get, you know, kids out of district and kids headed to the area meet. Hopefully we can get a bunch of busloads of kids qualifying for state. And that's always the goal of, you know, how long can we extend our seasons? And like I said, our coaches do such a fantastic job doing that and make sure our kids are competing at the highest level. And that's the standard that we have across the district.
Absolutely. And you mentioned the goal being to extend the seasons. There has been a lot of success in CISD extending the seasons this year in particular. You know, when I think about really every sport that we've covered, you guys have had school at the deepest level as far as any of our Panhandle schools, whether it's football with West Plains making it very far this year, basketball, obviously Randall making it to the state tournament, and Canyon making it to the state tournament on the girls' side as well. So much success across the board in all different sports from CISD. You mentioned a pretty interesting race shaping up in the softball race though right now, and you talk about Friday. Canyon and Randall will be playing one another on the softball field, set to be a really, really big game. What do you think are some of the implications of this game as far as those district standings go?
Yeah, that's a huge one. You know, that kind of almost going to be a playoff type atmosphere, you know, with those two teams, you know, fighting for that spot. And, you know, you never want to drop one this late in the year. So I think, you know, we have two excellent head coaches, two excellent coaching staffs. You know, both rosters are so deep in talent. I really think it's going to be the game of the year. I think it's going to be such a really good game. Just looking forward to, you know, that matchup on Friday.
Well, I want to shift back to basketball just for one moment before we let you go. Talking about, obviously, Leslie Broadhurst having that gym named after him, very big honor, very big deal for not just Randall, but the entire CISD community to support him. But like I mentioned, lots of success on the court in these last couple of years. A lot of that coming because of star KJ Thomas, UTEP commit. Just today, the 4A boys basketball super elite team was released from the Texas High School Coaches Association. KJ Thomas, MVP of the 4A team, and Kelson Jones also making the team as well out of Canyon High School. Again, I mean, just really, really dominance across the board. Once again, two CISD schools making it on this super elite team. Really, really hard to make across the entirety of 4A. What do you think that says about the basketball, boys basketball in particular, programs in CISD?
Yeah, absolutely. It just shows you the depth of how talented our kiddos are. You know, whether it's Randall, West Plains, or Canyon, you know, we always got really, really talented kids, really, really talented coaches, and it's just an absolute pleasure every single day to work with those coaches, to work with those kids. You know, a lot of people don't see, you know, they just see the results and they see the MVPs and they see the first team All-States. They see the, you know, state tournament runs. What a lot of people don't see is the behind the scenes, the practices. You know, you go to any of our practices or around campus, whether it's Canyon, West Plains, or Randall, just how hard our kids are working in the weight room. They're working, you know, our coaches are coaching them up in their agility stuff or their off-season stuff, or, you know, I think that's just how it's just so impressive to see our coaching staffs work with our kids, and they deserve all the credit, you know, and the results are speaking for themselves right now.
They certainly are. John, once again, thank you for coming on the show. Really appreciate it. Looking forward to the rest of this spring sports season for CISD. Lots of success early on. Hoping for a little bit more success in the future as well. Really appreciate you coming on the show, talking a little bit about all of those things, and including, once again, Leslie Broadhurst having that gym named after him. Very, very special moment for Randall.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you.
Absolutely. We'll be right back with more Sports Drive right after this break.